Hello everyone, this is just a short update on the Falcon Heavy, which has test fired today, as well as a short announcement concerning more videos and the supposed Zuma failure. Now, today the Falcon Heavy has finally managed to test fire on the ground after there has been a provisorial solution to the US government shutdown, which is now no longer really affecting spaceflight, meaning that we can go back to not talking much about politics again. The Falcon Heavy has a test fired at 17:30 GMT today, and you can see footage pretty much everywhere. I've uploaded the official footage. There is lots of amateur footage from around the test site as well. Now this was a relatively short test fire, but that is all that's really needed because the engines and boosters as such have already been tested. Now this is about the interaction between the three boosters. This is the first time that all 27 engines on a Falcon Heavy have been fired, and we now know that it is possible to fire all 27 engines on a Falcon Heavy without them immediately exploding because of some unforeseen interaction between the shockwaves from the engines. And that is really what was to be tested today. This now slowly brings the Falcon Heavy on track to launch again, and the actual liftoff is now expected to be somewhere between the first and second week of February, probably late in the first week of February, if everything keeps going alright. As for further updates, we still don't know anything definitive about Zuma, but there have been implications that Zuma failed to separate from the Falcon 9's second stage, and thus re-entered the atmosphere together with that second stage, but it would probably be because of a failure on Zuma's payload side. Now, this makes it relatively improbable that there may be anything else going on, but I'm still probably going to upload, just for fun, some of the most outlandish and creative ideas as to what may be the purpose of Zuma and what may have happened to Zuma later on, just as for fun speculations. The most likely possibility is still that it's simply a spy satellite that was simply lost because it failed to separate from the second stage. Now, tomorrow there will be an Ariane 5 launch, which I will also live stream, which will place two communication satellites in geostationary orbit as by the Ariane 5 standard tandem launch operation. I have also just finished running a somewhat more detailed simulation of the aerodynamics of a simplified Falcon Heavy model that I made. I've kind of looked at pictures of the Falcon Heavy, read up about the exact dimensions, made measurements on the images, looked up what the parts are specified to be like, and then built a very rough model of the overall shape of the Falcon Heavy in SolidWorks, and ran a basic simulation of its passing through max Q and transonic with a bit of an angle of attack to see how it would affect the lift of the boosters. And seeing that, I will tomorrow probably make a more detailed video about the technologies within the Falcon Heavy, the exact configuration, and what may or may not go wrong. Now, I've already made a rough prediction before where I said that it's 70% likely that it reaches orbit, in my opinion, but I will go more into detail as to if it fails, how may it fail, and why I think so, and which parts are more or less likely to fail or succeed. And unless some other interesting news come up, I will then be back to talking pure theory about rocket optimization and physics. For now, we can congratulate SpaceX on the first successful test fire of a complete Falcon Heavy with 27 Merlin 9D engines, making it the most powerful and heaviest rocket since the Space Shuttle, and the rocket with the most excess payload since the Saturn V. It also, of course, launches and is being prepared on the Launchpad 39B, which used to be the Saturn V and Apollo launchpad, which SpaceX has over the summer modified to accommodate the Falcon Heavy. One additional factor, of course, remains to the actual launch date, that is, there will be a Falcon 9 launching a satellite just before the Falcon Heavy launch, and of course The logistics behind this are a bit complicated, and SpaceX has been able to launch Falcon 9 rockets shortly after one another, but this is a bit more complicated, and so there will have to be some time delay between the Falcon 9 and the Falcon Heavy launch. So if that Falcon 9 gets delayed by another day, that would mean that the Falcon Heavy would probably also have to shift forward just to allow for the logistics operations in between the two launches to take place. But either way, we are closing in on the final week to the Falcon Heavy launch, and by now we can't expect too much more delay, so it's now pretty sure that it will probably launch within the first half of February. In the meantime, I will be updating you over any events related to spaceflight, or especially the Falcon Heavy. I'll talk about the theory behind spaceflight and predictions for the Falcon Heavy, and if you have any questions about spaceflight, I will see if I can fit them in somewhere, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.